Good. So I have here the question. All you need to do is to complete the word by filling up the right letters. This is the variety of life or organisms in the world, a particular habitat or ecosystem. When you say variety of life, type your answer in the comment section. That is what we call very good. You got it right. Biodiversity. So class, so why do we need to classify things? Like yung mga prutas sa palengke, bakit sama-sama? Same thing with the gulay, no? Gulay yung sa palengke, magkakasama rin. And the meat and the fishes. Bakit kaya kailangan natin silang i-classify pag sama-samahan? Sige nga, I will allow the comment sections for you to write your answers. Sige. How about this one? Yan, bakit magkakasama sa pila yung lalaki yung babae? Same thing yung mga mask na color black or blue, paano nila na-arrange yan sa store, and yung kutsara tinidor sa ating lagayan ng utensils, and the trash, no, sa basura. Bakit pag Lunes, namumulok? Bakit kaya ganun? We will answer that shortly, but for today, let us see the objectives that we need to attain aside from answering that question kanina. We will, number one, explain the biological what a biological species is, demonstrate an understanding of a hierarchy of taxonomic level, and lastly, we'll classify given organism into taxonomic groups. Are you ready? Let's start. Okay, these are the answers. Why do we classify things? Or specifically, why classify organisms? Because over a million species so far is identified. Aside from that, estimates of up to 30 million species on Earth and need to organize this biodiversity. Same thing with the biodiversity and the different species or animals or plants. We need to classify things for us to put into order or into groups, no? Same thing with organisms. Classification puts organism into groups by looking at characteristics, traits they share. Okay, ganun din pala, no? Plus, kaya pala natin classify yung boys and girls and based on their characteristics, no? And ng isang grupo, same thing with dun sa palengke, kaya pala magkakasama yung fruits. We are characterize it and classify it based on their characteristics. So class, before we proceed to our lesson, no? Let's have first an activity based on the pictures. Nasaan ako? Nasa Bohol, no? Sino sa inyo ayan ang probinsya? So the title of the activity, that is a tertiary, no? I found it all in Bohol. So the title of the activity, sabi ko kanina, I found it all in Bohol. So the direction goes like this. Group the endemic organisms now found in Bohol. Group them in whatever categories you like and answer the right questions after. So, Bohol endemic organisms. When you say endemic, it means that it originally found in a certain place. Like itong gagawin natin, itong mga organisms na ito ay makikita lamang sa Bohol. So, anong gagawin ninyo? You will group them, no? Kahit anong categories na pwede nyo gawin para lang maigrupo sila. Like for example, lahat ng halaman, lahat ng plants, ayun na, plants, halaman, the same, animals or insects, and so on and so forth. Base lang sa inyong kagustuhan kung paano sila i-categorize. So these are the organism that is endemic in Bohol. So I will give you enough time para igrupo sila. If you have paper and pen with you, pwede rin sulat nyo. See yung paano nyo sila i-grupo-grupo, no? Then later on, you will answer the guide questions. So here are the some endemic organisms in Bohol Islands. Bangalga, unggoy, molmol fish, Bohol mushroom, banaba, avocado, python, dugong, and tertiary. So nagrupo na ba? Okay, I will give you last 10 seconds to group them. 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let's answer the guide question. Question number 1. Pagkatapos nyo maigrupo, sagutin natin ito. How many groups of organisms do you form? Comment your answer. Ilang grupo ang na-form ninyo? Okay? Ilang grupo yan? Comment. Okay. Second question would be, how do you group those organisms? What is your basis? So, paano nyo ito nagrupo? Ano yung mga naging basihan ninyo? Question number 3, why is there a need to group in everything? Yan, bakit kailangan i-grupo yung mga bagay-bagay? Kanina, nasagot na natin yan. So, ko lang na ulitin ninyo. Okay? So, maybe your answer in number 1, you group them in according to the, yung sinabi ko kanina, plants or animals. Meron dalawa lang, yung grupo. Hiniwalay lang yung plants and animals. But some of them, ginurupo sila base sa kung saan sila nakatira. Sa land, sa sea, and sa ground, and so on and so forth. Maybe 2 or 3 or 4. Ayun yung inyong mga ilan. Yung ilan. So, how do you group? Sasagot na natin. But baby, kung wala namang mali kung paano yung sila naggrupo because that is your insight na kung paano diskarte ang ginawa nyo. So, why is there a need to group everything? For us to classify things in order. So, taxonomy, it is a billion of organisms are living in its only living planet, which is the Earth. We categorize that as animals, plants, fungi, and billions of microorganisms. Should be identified, classified, grouped, and named. Ayun pala yun. So, the scientific study on how to name is what we call nomenclature, or para malaman kung ano yung scientific name of that organism. Identify and group is what we call classification, and the organisms is taxonomy. So, how to name and identify the groups and organisms is what we call taxonomy. So, simply, taxonomy is classifying living things into groups based on their body structure, the anatomy, apat paa, how many legs, lumalangoy, may fins and gills pa, ganon. And the DNA or other traits. So, they are just simply classified with the use of taxonomy, no, based doon sa mga sinabi, sa body structure, sa kanilang DNA, no, or other traits. So, para malaman natin dyan who is the scientist who made the modern way of taxonomy, and he was Carolus Linnaeus. Carbon Linnaeus. He is a Swedish. No, Carolus Linnaeus is a Swedish botanist. Lived 1707 and 1778. No? He invented the binomial nomenclature or the two words naming system. Ito yung sinatawag nating scientific name, no? We still use today to classify organism. Ito pala ang gamit nun. And he called as the father of taxonomy. Siya ang father of taxonomy, Carolus Linnaeus. So what is binomial nomenclature? Gives two unique word Latin for scientific names to all living things. Genus is a capitalized, species is not, both are italicized. So paano sila sinasulat? So yung dalawang sa taxonomy, yung dalawang last two, no? Last na pangalan o ma-identify yung organism na yun, doon nakapangalan yung scientific name ng organism. Examples, we have the Homo sapiens. This is for human. Felis domesticus, that is for cat. Panthera tigris, that is for tiger. So as you notice, the first letter, the genus is capital letter and it is italicized. Italicized. Pag sinulat sila, italicized dapat. Okay? So, again, this is for the Homo sapiens. Paano nakuha yung Homo sapiens, sir? As a human, ganito yung samples, we are belong to the kingdom Animalia. phylum Chordata, the class Mammalia, and order we are primate. So family, we have the Hominidae, sorry. The genus will be a Homo, and the species is Sapiens. Kaya pala naging Homo sapiens ang tao. We are the highest form of animal. Sir, sabi mo, we are animal. Yes, in science, we are the highest form of animal because we have the ability to think and decide, and we have the wisdom. No? And turn and talk, what are these animal scientific name? Sige nga, tignan natin kung naiintindihan ninyo yung example ko. Okay, how about this one? Okay, again, ang sinabi ko, the last two names in the taxonomy, that would be the name or the scientific name of the organism. So, since na ang dulo nito ay pan and ang genus niya ay pan, this monkey is species is Troglodytes. So, the scientific name would be Pan Troglodytes. How about this one? This Paramecium. O, tandaan nyo, ang chimpanzee ay Pan Troglodytes. Ang Paramecium, scientific name is Paramecium. Yung dalawa, kung nasa dulo, genus and species. Always remember how to write it. Ganyan. Paramecium caudatum. Yan. And different organisms have their own scientific names. So, what would you call this creature? Example, peel bug, roly-poly, potato bug. No? These common names for the same species are different and confusing. Kasi halos magkakamukha yan yung mga different bugs. No? Nakaka-confuse ano nga ba talaga yung species na yan. So, binomial nomenclature uses Latin added and changing language. Again, kaya Latin kinamit para sa pagpangalan because this language is a dead or unchanging language. Hindi siya nagbabago. The same siya since then, no? That is understood by scientists worldwide. So, scientific name is Armadillidium vulgare para malaman na ayun yung specific creature or specific organism. Kaysa magkalito-dito tayo. Basta sir, bagyan. Taxonomy classification. Okay, from domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Ulitin ko, domain, kingdom, phylum, class, orders, family, genus, species. Make it slowly. Domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. And as you notice, it decreases in the similarity, no? Increasing in numbers. Palaki ng palaki, pataas ng pataas. And decrease yung similarity, bumababa yung pagkakatulad. Pero pag pababa, increase in similarity, pare-parehas habang tumatagal, lumalayo, bumababa. Pero decrease in number, papaunti ng papaunti ang magkakaroon ng similarity. So, aralin natin ito. We have the 8 taxo classification. Inulit pa. Yan, huwag niyong kakalimutan yung 8 yan. So, para hindi nyo sila talaga makalimutan, tandaan yung sinabi ko kanina, the 7 and 8, it will be the binomial name or scientific name, genus, species, para nakuha kayo ng scientific name, alam mo na. So, the broadest level is the domain. Number 1, of course. There are 3 domains, tandaan nyo, we have the Eukarya, Archaea, and Bacteria. Para sila na-classify, Eukarya includes all the eukaryotic organisms. So, Archaea naman includes the prokaryotic organisms that live in extreme, very hot or acidic environment. Meaning to say, ito yung mga organisms na pwedeng makasurvive sa very hot or acidic. Ang tao at ang animals and also the plants are belong to Eukarya. So, the bacteria naman, which are the prokaryotic organisms that live in a typical or less extreme environment. Tandaan ang 3 domains. We have Eukarya, Archaea, Bacteria, and Bacteria. So, domain Eukarya is divided into 4 kingdoms. Yung tatlong yun ay nahati pa sa yung Eukarya ay nahati sa 4 na kingdoms. While the domain Archaea and Bacteria in 1 kingdom each. So from domain, napunta tayo sa kingdom. We have 6 kingdoms kasi 4 sa eukarya, sa domain eukarya, and tig-isa sa domain archaea and bacteria. Kaya 6. So 6 kingdoms are recognized. Do not forget that. So these are the animalia, plantae, fungi, protista, the kingdom eubacteria, and the archaebacteria. Okay? So, yung 4 na yun, galing sa domain eukarya is the animalia, plantae, fungi, and protista yung first 4. Yung bacteria, of course, dito tayo sa bacteria, and yung archaebacteria dun sa domain archaea. Nakakasunod, then each of the kingdoms can be divided into phyla. Yung kingdom, pwede silang ma-divide into phyla, singular phylum. Each phylum pwedeng i-divide into classes, each class into orders, each orders into family, yung family pwedeng ma-divide into genera or in singular genus, and each genus into species. So, divide lang ng divide, groupings lang ng grouping hanggang makarating doon sa species. Did you get that, class? Nuggets ba? Okay, take a look at the species. Always remember that the species is the smallest and most specific group in classification. And aside from that, organisms in the same species can reproduce together and their offspring are fertile. Pag parehas kayo ng species, like human, parehas tayong Homo sapiens, they can produce together and their offsprings are fertile. So, these are the trick, no, para maising yung matandaan yung classification. We are the D, Dom, King, Philip, came over for grape soda. Ayan, yung clue natin, yung first letter, we have the domain, kingdom, phylum, uh, so on and so forth. Class, and then, di ba, sabi natin class, order, families, genus, and species. Yan, tanda yun. Dom, King, Philip came over for grape soda. Dom, King, Philip came over for grape soda. Yan, para madali nyo maintindihan. So, let's have another example. Let's have here the aloe vera. Ayan ang example na aloe vera. So, it came from the planta and the phylum, class, order, family. Eukarya, of course, the domain. And the scientific name would be yung last two, the aloe barbadensis. Pag bumili kayo sa tindahan, ng plantita or plantito yung mga tita-tito ninyo, manay, tatay, sabihin mo yung trivia. Did you know that aloe vera scientific name is aloe barbadensis and it came from the kingdom planta? Ganun, no? Pasikad kayo, no? At least you have any idea, no? Ano yung scientific nito? So, concept checker, let's check. Open your camera. Okay. Open your camera first bago na tayo maglaro. You will smile in the front of the camera if you agree with the statement and make a sad face pag hindi kayo agree or disagree kayo. Classifying living organisms allows us to identify groups and properly name organism. Smile or sad? Take a look at, patingin nga ng mga mukha. Okay, the correct answer is smiling face. So organisms were classified according to the levels of classification. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Ganun ba sila nakaklassified? Smile or sad? The correct answer is correct. Smiling. That is fact. Number 3, taxonomy is the scientific study on how to name, identify, and group organisms. So, ano ba ang tawag? Taxonomy ba? Smile or sad? Yes, I want to see a happy face. That's why all of the answers are smiling face because all are correct. Very good. So, fill in the blanks. Let's have another activity. All we need to do is to fill in the blanks. It is the scientific, comment your answer. It is the scientific study on how to name, identify, and group. Taxonomy, group, blank. Ano yung group natin? Please choices are in the word uh, box. So, group of organisms. Very good. The father of modern taxonomy was sino? Very good. He is Carolus Linnaeus. He devised the level of classification. Namely, ano kaya ang una? Namely, K, we have kingdom. Tanggal na yung domain eh. And the last will be the species. Very good.